I had another realization from my camping trip is to bring more presence to how I'm feeling and what's around me. Always bring more presence, always bring more awareness. Camping really taught me because there's not so much distractions. It's like you and nature, and you have to like listen to the rhythm of nature, and you can see it, you can touch it, and you can feel it. There's so many sensory experiences in our daily lives with like social media, work, notifications, family, your pets, you know, all this like stimulation, fancy food and drinks and fancy kombucha here, lemon verbena, very refreshing. Substances and all this stuff, like it can really become a little bit overwhelming. I don't necessarily think these things are bad. I think everyone has vices, but they're not really vices. It's just bringing awareness to them. Like a lot of times when like I've had a rough day at work, I was like, oh, I need a cookie. I'm like making myself feel better with a cookie. But actually, what I'm saying is I need a dopamine rush to make me feel better because I'm stressed, because my day was busy, okay? That's really what I'm saying. The cookie is giving me a spike, a dopamine rush. Sometimes it's good to eat the cookie, but I think it's important to bring awareness. If you are drinking alcohol, this is just my truth right now, and you are not happy with yourself, you're gonna further feel not happy with yourself when you drink alcohol. If you drink alcohol in moderation and you do it with good intentions and you're happy about it, it's probably a little bit more healthier because your intention is more pure. So I think it's important to really be aware of what we're doing and also enjoy the cookie from time to time, but bring more awareness to it, like why we're enjoying the cookie. I'm gonna treat myself to a cookie. I think part of the human experience, and let's not forget this, is to enjoy touching, feeling, looking, enjoy the senses, enjoy the physical reality, but also bring that higher level energetic component to it. And part of like eating, because I'm like a galactic food person, like I love food because I'm a Taurus sun, and because like I know everything about food. I'm just a gene. No, I'm just kidding. Food does two things in my opinion. It provides nourishment, it gives you life force, right? It gives you energy. But also there's a pleasure component that we don't talk about too much that is also very important to the human experience. That euphoria, that pleasurable moment. So any type of stimulation, scrolling through social media can give you that dopamine rush, like eating the cookie. I like the cookie. By the way, like these oatmeal raisin cookies from Levain Bakery are very good. We shouldn't deprive ourselves of these experiences because that's part of the human experience, but we should bring more awareness to these experiences so we can enjoy them more from like a healthy, grounded standpoint and feel joy from them. But like anything, if we experience too much joy, it could lead to pain. Okay, so it's about having a healthy relationship with our vices because no one's perfect and we're supposed to enjoy these 3D world pleasures like good food, drinks, some type of substances people like to enjoy, what have you, okay? Like I'm not gonna tell you how to live your life. Like this is what I do and I'm working on this. Sometimes I have days at work where I feel really unfocused and I just drink so many cups of coffee. Do I really need coffee? No, but it's just something to make me feel good in the moment, to get my mind off the work. So I'm disconnecting from myself. So I think we should try to limit the disconnecting from ourselves, instead focus on connecting to ourselves. You know, eating this cookie will help me connect more to myself because I'm gonna feel more pleasure. Having this cup of coffee will help me connect to myself to feel more pleasure. That doesn't mean we drink like 3 cups of coffee because it connects to myself, or like 7 cups of coffee. There's balance and you have to decide what works for you. But bring more awareness into how we feel and enjoy these pleasurable 3D world food, substances, whatever. And to bring more awareness into something, it's as simple as like allowing you to experience whatever you're doing fully with your eyes, with your nose. Wait, let me do that again. With your eyes and your nose, but also it's just like the environment that you're in, who you're with, all of that adds to the experience. So it can be like drinking tea. You look at the tea, you smell the tea, you swirl the tea around, you admire the surrounding where you're enjoying the tea, and take a sip of the tea. Okay, that's bringing more awareness into daily. Listen to your body. You know what you need best. Currently in this point in my life, I eat more fruits and vegetables because that's what my body likes. That's what I'm listening to my body, intuitive. I would label myself as a flexitarian. I don't really like to put a label on a lot of things because if you put a label on things, it comes with an associated viewpoint or stance that other people deem a certain way. So for example, I'm a flexitarian. I wouldn't necessarily say that. I would say I like to eat more fruits and vegetables because that's what works for me and that's what makes me feel healthy. Okay, if you say you're a vegan, vegetarian, pescatarian, carnivore, people will start to judge. Not that that matters, you stand true in who you are, but you know, like always putting a label on ourselves, like I'm American, I'm blah, blah, blah. There's really no need at the end of the day, because I don't believe in a one size fits all. I believe we're all different, we're all unique, we're all special. So I don't need to put a label on myself. But there are times when I need to put a label on myself because I need to operate in this 3D world. If you catch my drift, all right? Balance. I would label myself as a flexitarian because I enjoy some meat and seafood from time to time. But, and it could change. I like to be more intentional with the source. So if I'm enjoying meat or seafood, I believe something home cooked with positive intention from my grandmother who loves me has more life force energy, has more positive intention, nourishes my body, nourishes my soul better than something from the dollar menu. Okay, made by machines, made with people that don't really like what they're doing. That's what I like to think. What you put in, you get back. Just like you would do something good for other people, why don't you do something good for yourself? And it's the energy about the food. I'm not saying that we always have to eat the most healthiest food, but it's about where it comes from. Is it good quality? Oh yeah, and back to my flexitarian. I'm listening to my body and I'm giving my body what it needs. Like, I'm not being prescriptive. I'm not saying this works for everyone, but like me consuming a lot less protein, I still feel like I have a lot of energy and I'm actually a lot stronger than I was when I was consuming more protein. So it's very interesting, and I'm not saying that this will work for you, but I'm saying that you need to be aware of your body and what works for you. The things that bring you joy, like the sweet treats. Like I like pastries on the weekend sometimes. That brings me joy. That might not bring you joy. You don't need to eat pastries, but some things bring you joy. Establish a working, comfortable relationship with those. Don't negate those, but don't lose control with those things that make you happy. Because anything out of control, you know, you lose control. And also you can be more intentional with the activities that you do too, like the romantic sexual relationships that you have. It's probably going to be more fulfilling to engage in sacred energy exchange with someone that you love rather than someone that you don't love. You're probably going to feel better by eating food that's locally sourced with no hormones, that's not so refined and processed than you would with the opposite. You're probably going to be better surrounding yourself with people that actually raise you up and make you feel good rather than always put you down in a toxic situation. These are just the things. But this is Michael from the future for another video segment. A joy that you don't really experience so often, that I would consider maybe not the most healthiest, but for special occasions it brings you a lot of pleasure, would be roasting marshmallows in an open campfire. And I experienced that on my hiking camping trip to Colorado. Maybe marshmallows are not the healthiest thing, graham crackers, chocolate, not the healthiest thing. Combining it together, it's an American tradition, and it's good for that moment. But if you do that like every day, it might be not the best for you. But in that moment, it brought a lot of joy. There are times where you want to indulge and you have that sweet treat, or you go out to this nightclub and you surround yourself maybe with energies that you don't really like, or you engage in something and you entertain something that you might not resonate with. But that's part of the human experience too, because no one's perfect, and if you didn't experience that sometimes, you wouldn't learn the lessons and you wouldn't know what's best for you at this current moment in your life. Part of the human experience, I believe, my truth, take what resonates, is trying new things, trying new experiences, adapting and adjusting, and not putting a one-size-fits-all approach onto your life. Society likes to be prescriptive and give you a roadmap for how you should live your life. And for some, that's good. But for others, that doesn't really work out. And for certain situations, like if you want to live in New York City, you probably have to work a job in finance or tech in order to survive and get an apartment with insurance and have a family and that sort of thing. There's things, but there's ways around it. And sometimes you have to experience the structure, the system, learn from it, and then take yourself out of it, because you learn the lessons in the system and now you learn how to operate outside the systems. You learn from it, but then you can do the opposite of it, or you can enhance yourself. But sometimes you have to go through the fire in order to rise up through the fire and learn something different. Bring more awareness into your situation. There are no vices, it's just our relationship to vices and how aware we are of ourselves and our actions, people, places, and things that we surround ourselves with on a daily basis. No one's perfect, but just try to do a check-in with yourself, just like your manager would want to do a check-in with you, and you're like, put that meeting down. The most important check-in is with yourself, and you can look in the mirror and say, am I being...
Are you a foodie?
No, I'm not a foodie. Let me explain. I've eaten exquisite foods. I've eaten the finest foods in several different countries. I've went to culinary school. I was a certified sommelier. I've worked in restaurants in New York City. I've seen behind the scenes in the restaurant how much hard work chefs put into it. And then I've seen from a guest perspective, because I've had the opportunity, I've had the luxury to enjoy world-class food prepared with high caliber. What I can deduce, I got some pastries. Mamma mia. What I can deduce from this is that all of this doesn't really matter. What matters most, and this is just my opinion, is the feeling. In my last video, or this video, or next video, food should be enjoyed. It should be a sensory experience, and it also gives us life force energy. I'm not a foodie because I care more about intention behind it. Like for me, the best food now is something prepared by my grandmother, because she really cares and she really puts her heart into it. So the next time you're eating like off the dollar menu, just ask yourself if this is being prepared with care and love, because anything that you do with heart and intention, to me, has more energy, has more love into it. Don't eat it if it doesn't have love. If it has love, it will impart that love into you. That's what I believe. Influencers and finding the best food, it's not really looking at what you like and what makes you happy and the emotion and the meaning and the energy behind it. It's more gauged at what's Instagrammable. And that's important because it's about like how it's viewed and how it's perceived. But there's something so beautiful about the craftsmanship and the art and care and love and that goes into making something. And you as the guest, you don't really need to understand all the details, but you can feel the difference when it's made with love and care. Like if your grandmother or your significant other makes you something or surprises you, that's essentially how food can be experienced, and it's magical. And you as the guest, like I get it, you pay the food, it's an exchange and you just want to eat it, and if it's good or if it's not. But good is subjective. There's so many things, like just to make this little tiramisu bite takes a lot of time and effort just to make this little bite that gets consumed in 5 seconds. It's a temporal experience, right? And is all this stuff really healthy? No, it's not. But in moderation, it brings me joy and satisfaction. So all I'm saying is the source of the food and the intention behind it is more important. It's not so much what you're eating, it's how it's prepared and it's who you're eating with, to me, which make it really special. And chefs put so much care and love into all their dishes all the time, and they go a little crazy because they're giving too much and they're not really receiving, because they're working like 15 hours a day, they're not eating the food, they're not getting good sleep, all for the sake of their own art to give to you to eat. So it's an unequal exchange, okay? It's an unequal exchange. So all I'm saying, you as the customer, is to be more mindful, be more aware of, one, what you're putting into your body, because you can enjoy it more and feel the nutrients and feel the nourish more, the energy. And two, have some empathy for the food that you're paying for. So just something to think about, food for thought. I'm not a foodie. Actually, all my friends are foodies. I'm like a rogue foodie, try to look a layer deeper now than I used to about stuff. But at the end of the day, you can't like always be so deep and take everything so seriously, because you'll go mad. Moderation, but I think mindfulness is important. Peace.